What's going on, Knick fans? How we doing? All right. What's good, Zach? How we doing?
Good, what's good? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. That's right. It always keeps slipping my mind that it's New Year's, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a second. Obviously, like Zach said, Happy New Year's. Yeah. Okay, we're ready to go. So, Zach, you want to start off your comments about the game?
Yeah, I'll start off. So, we knew this is going to happen a lot. We're going to get blown out a lot. But what's not going to happen, or what I hope won't happen, is this shooting. It was terrible, from us at least. Theirs wasn't great, but it heated up at the end. Ours never heated up. Ours was cold and got colder, it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd say that's definitely our first impression of this terrible game. But, yeah, and we got to see Austin Rivers at least. We'll get into him later, but, yeah.
I agree.
That's my first feelings of the game.
I was going to say basically the same thing word for word. The Knicks shooting, we knew it wasn't going to be amazing this year, especially when we're missing guys like Alec Burks and Emmanuel quickly. And we know Obi's not a phenomenal three-point shooter or anything, but you get the deal, right? You know, we're missing a lot of our guys. But upside, Austin Rivers came in tonight. He played good, right? He didn't play bad, especially for not practicing with the team yet. But you know what? We will get into all of that later. Not worried about the loss, quite frankly, especially because it was Toronto. I know they didn't start the season well, you know. But
Siakam.
They do. Well, they didn't. They didn't tonight.
They didn't
right?
tonight.
But you know, I feel like even if they had Siakam, we were gonna get blown out either way. We didn't.
I agree.
It had nothing to do with them having or not having him. They're just a good team, you know. Freddie, Chris Boucher is the real deal too. He's good. Freddie. Aaron Baines had some. He didn't play super well tonight. You know, Kyle Lowry played well.
Alex
Len, more threes at one point, more threes than our entire team. So that's a
tied.
Yeah, pretty bad. But you know what? Let's get into the individual performances here. I got a little sidetracked here talking about them without actually looking at their stats. So, just a note for those who didn't watch the game. This was halftime, okay? That was halftime.
We got worse.
2 for 20 from 3. I'm not even sure if we hit one after that. Did we? Probably.
We hit one.
1
for 16 the second half. So.
Unreal. Wow, 3 for 36 the entire game.
And so they went 7 for 27, and they finished the game 17 for 52.
That's impressive. They did chuck up a lot more shots than we did, but we were just letting them have open shots. And we'll talk more about that later, too. But you know how we start these. You know, we start with the individual player performances. And I don't really want to go in any particular order because I feel like the entire team played awful tonight. So we'll just talk down the line with the starters. I'll start off talking about Julius Randle here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what I expected to see from Julius Randle, okay? He didn't have a great game. They sent doubles at him because he's on fire, and he just didn't get shots up. 5 for 12 is not his normal. Usually, if anything, it'll be around the 7 or 8 for 12 range. But even then, like, he didn't even get up that many shots. Like, 12 shots for your best player on the team is not a lot. You know, RJ put up 19.
Middies. He hit some middies at the beginning, and then just couldn't get the threes at all.
Yeah.
But this we gotta not take for granted how well
He did play.
or how well he started the season off. Like, this is what we're
Exactly.
gonna see, or what we expected to see, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see a lot more of what we saw at the beginning of the year. But yeah, this was just an off day for him. It felt like, for sure.
No, I totally
But
agree.
yeah, he
Yeah.
got the free throws. He got a lot of free throws, and he took advantage of them.
That was a good
Missed one,
improvement.
but yeah.
Yeah, he needs to consistently hit those because he does get to the line a lot, So if he's not hitting the free throws, we're going to have a serious issue. And, I'm not going to judge his three-point shooting tonight because, quite frankly, there were so many players that shot worse than him that I can't even, I can't even judge him. I mean, if he had shot better, sure, maybe we would have had a better chance, but it was over regardless. From the start, it felt like it was over. I knew we were going to lose. My prediction was 20-point loss. It was a 17-point loss. Zach predicted a 10-point loss.
Yeah.
Practically in the middle of our predictions. But I was a little bit closer on that one. If you want to talk about, I'm just saying it for the sake of bets, okay? And I want to talk about him next, okay? And I said to Zach that I was very disappointed in RJ Barrett tonight and that I want to talk about him, okay? I bet at halftime that this kid would come out and hit one three-pointer. Bet $5 on it.
You
Okay?
bet. I said 10 at first. You
Yeah,
wanted
but
to change
I
it to
lowered it to
5.
5. I didn't have that much confidence. I'm happy I did. But I said $5, okay? Well, you said, wait, did you say
I bet you
bet?
$10.
You bet me
if
$10. I said,
if
okay, I'll
RJ
take it
can
for
hit
5.
a 3-pointer.
Right. So
Yeah, you changed it to 5.
I said $5. He hits a 3. He said, okay, I'll do it. He hit nothing. He missed everything. And it's not even that I'm mad because I bet the money on it. I'm just disappointed because the dude has missed 25 three-pointers straight. Right? Isn't it 25, 24, somewhere in that range? It's too many.
You might be hard on them. I think it's like 21.
I don't even care. That's terrible. That's awful. And you know what's
I think
funny?
he split it in the halves. I think he went 0 for 4 in both halves.
That's just bad, man. In the last 3 games, too. He had his first game, he was 3 for 3, correct?
Yeah, he started the game 3 for 3.
And I was like, okay, this is the
Or he
RJ
might
Barrett
finish
shooting
with
we
that.
want to see. And I swear, me and Zach talked about it a little bit during the game, particularly Zach did, actually. And he said anytime he puts up the ball, it looks like it's going to go in because he's got a
really
nice
does.
release. He's got a good release. It just doesn't drop. And I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I don't know what the hell is going on. He keeps shooting the ball, but he keeps missing. 4 for 19 is inexcusable. I know it's your second year in the league, but oh my God, it was so bad tonight.
Yeah. To be honest, it looks a little unlucky on some of them. Some of them are just terrible. But his mechanics are all there.
Yeah.
Some of them just look a little unlucky.
He did have that second half corner shot. It literally rattled in and out.
It was in and out.
It couldn't have been closer, honestly. But at the end of the day, you still went 0 for 8. You still missed 21 straight three-pointers. That needs to change. You have to hit them. You are the best player on this team, or at least you should be. You're the 3rd overall pick last year. I know it's your second year. I don't want to put too much pressure on you in the 5th game of the regular season. But you had plenty of open looks tonight. You had plenty of chances. And the only times he really scored were in the garbage minutes. The last 2 minutes of the game. He probably more realistically should have had like 6 points tonight. 6, 8, and 3, in the minutes that counted, is like just not good. Kevin Knox played better than you tonight. Kevin Knox.
Very true. And his hand was freaking bruised.
Yeah. He didn't play as well in the second half as he did in the first, but he still played better than RJ. So, give him that much.
But RJ, first game of the season, went 3 for 3. 76ers 0 for 6. Bucks 0 for 4. Cavaliers 0 for 3. And tonight 0 for 8.
0 for 8. And it's not even like he just missed those 3-point shots. He missed a good amount of mid-range shots too, and that's his game. If he doesn't make the mid-range shots, then he's not making anything. He made some nice elite drives to the basket tonight, but quite frankly, there's a lot of players in the league that can do that. So you're nothing special if you can do that, right? You need to add that mid-range game, which you already have. You just didn't have a good night with it. But the 3-pointers, like I said, inexcusable. He's got a lot of work to do. He did shoot the only upside for tonight. Only upside, seriously, was that he shot 4 for 5. From the free throw line. And seeing an 80% shooting, if he can shoot 80% consistently throughout the season, big win on his part, because that means he definitely improved his free throw shooting from last year. But I don't like to see Ben Simmons-esque shooting in a shooting guard. It's just not what it should be.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It is. But I'll let you take over whichever player you want to talk about. Really, you can go off the rails. Go with anybody.
The Reggie Bullock.
Okay.
So, I think we saw at the beginning of the year the inconsistency. Or was it preseason? It might have been preseason. And he's been very efficient lately, it feels like. But tonight, nothing fell. Nothing fell. Which is like every guy on this roster. But nothing fell. It was awful. Couldn't hit a shot. But he didn't airball him, which is nice. That's a great thing compared to everybody else in this game. But, yeah, nothing fell. And, yeah. You need him to fall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bad, especially when you're the only shooter. When all our shooters are hurt quickly, Burks, you got to step up, and he just did not step up whatsoever. It was terrible.
And if you want to talk about, if you want to talk about a 3-point shooter, Reggie Bullock is that. If he had a night like this for the Lakers, they would have lost. It's that simple. So, quite frankly, having a night like this for the Knicks is just going to kill you. I'm saying, like, when I say Lakers, I just mean a good team, right? Like, if he had this bad of a game for a good team, they would have lost that game, right? It's just, you can't have your shooter missing 9 out of his 9 3-pointers. That won't happen. It can't go down like that. And the 3 for 15 is almost as embarrassing as RJ's, but RJ, I'd say, played more garbage minutes than Reggie, so I give Reggie the edge. But, just a terrible 5 personal fouls, still pretty bad. I knew he had that one foul at the end of the game, so I count it as 4 because they had to foul to get Julius Randle out of the game, which we'll also talk about in a second. But he had to foul to get Julius out of the game because there was a minor injury or cramp or something. So I'll just kind of talk a little bit about that because I know we mentioned him earlier, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of going back to Julius Randle, and I'm not sure if you can give me any insight on this, Zach, but he did kind of have like a contact, not a knee injury. It looked kind of like it was a cramp. I'm not sure, a leg cramp. And he really just couldn't walk on it, like, at all. So I will say I still am, and I was a little bit worried at the time, because it didn't look that bad. But then he got up and he couldn't walk, and then it looked bad. But
it was very awkward because it looked like he bumped. Well, I thought he bumped knees, but he didn't bump knees because he bumped into like the thigh, but then the reports come out and it's a calf cramp. So.
Right.
It didn't really make much sense.
So here's what
But you were saying he was like holding his hamstring, right?
I'm not really sure. I can't say if I'm 100% sure what he was holding. He was holding a few things, it felt like. But I just hope he's okay because we need him, If we don't have him, the best player on the team right now is going to be RJ Barrett. And we kind of saw how that went down last season. So
I'd hand the keys to Bullock at that point. That's the thing.
No.
Or Payne at this point.
And,
or Rivers would start at this point.
You look up Julius Randle injury, all you saw is his broken leg from 6 years ago. That's not good. But
I think the reports are it's a calf cramp.
Okay, so really not a big deal, but it didn't look great. Ian Bagley's the source that I'm going to be looking mostly into. The Knicks starters went 0 for 23 on 3-pointers tonight, by the way, if no one knew that. It's kind of right here in the stats, but just still terrible, And obviously Mitch wasn't even considered a starter, so you can count, because he didn't shoot any threes, but you can count the 4 top starters went 0 for 23.
Yeah, just the starting lineup.
That's horrible. RJ Barrett's even trending on Knicks Twitter right now for bad reasons. Right? Damn. 21 consecutive misses, correct.
21.
You want to talk a little bit about Mitch?
Sure. He had like a couple fouls. He was in a little foul trouble early, but he obviously didn't get many minutes. Or I did not mean minutes, I meant shots. But got a couple dunks like he always does. He had one putback, I remember, that was nice. But yeah, I feel like our paint was pretty locked up in the second half. At first it didn't look good, but once they started heating up from 3, then it was over. So that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
So I feel like he had a pretty good game. He didn't get many minutes though because of that foul trouble, but it's all good.
You know what I will say though?
Not his fault. Mm-hmm.
The Raptors defense, and I say it time and time again, was very good. We didn't have any penetration tonight. And I can't say I'm necessarily surprised Mitch didn't show up in the stat category that much, but he did have a presence, you know. He always has that defensive presence on the court. He's one of the only guys, aside from the guys who only played the garbage minutes, that had a relatively positive plus minus. He was +0, so he was fine throughout the game. The definition of average. And he didn't play outstandingly good or outstandingly bad. It happens, right? But like you said, with the foul trouble, he did get in a little foul trouble early. You're right, Zach. And that hurt the team's chances big time in the fourth quarter, you know?
Yeah, that cut his minutes and, just hurt us.
And it's not even 100% his fault. It has a lot to do with his teammates not hitting their shots, especially when he's a liability on the court, and they know that from the three-point line. He knows that. So they have to act well around him. And they didn't. And I do want to I want to talk about Elfrid Payton because it says he put up 14 points, but I always feel like he does that so quietly and it just doesn't work. Like, he doesn't make his free throws, he doesn't make his three-pointers. He's not even that great of a passer for his position, even though he's known for his passing. Like, I don't like him. I don't.
It looked like all of them were like his little fundamental floaters that he usually gets a lot of points off of.
It's like what Quickly could do, but at least Quickly can shoot, right? And Quickly is younger and cheaper, and I just wish he wasn't out again because I don't even know if he's okay for next game. I hope he is, but if he's not, it's going to be a serious problem because we're just gonna have another issue with that, you know, by taking out a loss.
I agree.
Which, you know, it's okay if we lose games because I don't expect us to make the playoffs or anything crazy. I at least expect 20 wins. You know, that'd be nice. If I don't even know if we're gonna get that.
Nah, I think we'll get 20. But if we shoot like this, obviously we're losing every game for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But that won't happen. No, 3 for 36 is unheard of. I've never heard of that. It's crazy. But yeah, we can. Knox was pretty good. We can talk about Knox. Knox was good in the first half, but that second half just fell apart. But I don't know if it had to do with the hand, but he had a lot of open threes when the game was pretty much over, and he missed all of them. I think it was only 2 threes. I think did he start the game 2 for 2?
Kevin, well, yeah, and he also would have had a third three-pointer if any. You know, for those who don't watch the game, it's kind of important to know this sort of stuff. But Julius Randle had just picked up a charging foul as he had shot the shot, so it didn't count. But I think he did start 2 for 2. I think you're right.
And then just went a usual 0 for 6 like everybody, but
yeah,
I think maybe some of it had to do with the injury, but yeah. And he made his free throws when he drove and got fouled. Yeah. He almost had that big dunk in the first half that he got the foul on, though. That would have been crazy. Then RJ was in the corner. Remember that?
You know, I joked and I said we got bailed out that he got fouled because RJ would not have made that corner 3. He just wasn't it, you know, so.
Yeah.
But Iggy played 1 minute. Nerlens Noel played 18. 6 points, 4 personal fouls, 6 rebounds. The fouling with Nerlens needed to stop tonight. A lot of the fouls were ridiculous. Like, I'm talking about holding fouls, and it was just something that if you're the backup center coming off the bench and Mitch already has 4 fouls, you have to keep your hands up. Because then you're just not going to stay in the game. And then inevitably, either Julius is going to play center or Mitch is going to come in and foul out. So you really kind of screwed us tonight with that. And most of his shots were open lobs. You know, he doesn't shoot middies. He doesn't shoot three-pointers. So, another liability with the shooting, and we didn't have shooters. So, it's that simple.
Yeah.
One thing I was very happy about and optimistic about tonight, Austin Rivers. You know, he played a good game. 21 minutes, 7 points, 5 assists. Perfect.
Yeah, that's my first impression of him. Like, this dude's explosive. He came out really fast. It was nice to see a guy. I feel like he looked like he was the fastest guy on the team, maybe on the court. He came out fast, but he's good. He came out a little rusty on the shooting, which is okay. He might shoot a little better, hopefully, during the season, but he didn't get any preseason. Hasn't played in a while, so.
Yeah,
but I think he had a good game.
I have to interrupt you and say he hasn't even played 5-on-5 with the team yet. So
he didn't play in practices?
No, not even experienced with the lineup. So he definitely has a lot of work to do when it comes to getting integrated into the system. And I'm just hoping that he's able to start over Payton. Because I'm really tired of Peyton getting 23 minutes of the game and hogging the ball. Because the 2 turnovers he had were just bad. And he almost had another turnover, but Mitch saved him. You know when he threw the inbounds to Mitch? Almost didn't get over his head.
And he was tipping it up in the air.
Yeah, it's like those passes, it's just not excusable. It can't happen. As your point guard, especially when you're not known for your shooting, I do not want to see you doing that, and I know a lot of other Knick fans also feel the same way. Okay, let's see. So
pretty much all of them.
Yeah,
cared about Harper and Pinson.
Yeah, they played the garbage minutes and they didn't contribute much at all. I mean, we see Harper came in and hit his 2 free throws. At least we saw consistency somewhere tonight. OG Anunoby 1 for 10. We did lock him up, quite frankly. I mean, he still had a plus 22 in the plus minus department. His defense, I call him Baby Kawhi for a reason. That dude's defense is elite, honestly. So I'll give him that, but. The Raptors just had a better game tonight. They came out in the second half blazing, especially the fourth quarter, because the third quarter, sure, they came back, but at least we kept in the game. And then the fourth quarter came around, and then we got outscored by 10 points. We got outscored by 7 in the third, and then we just gave up.
Yeah, their shots kept falling. Freddie hit them. Lowry started hitting. Alex Len came in, hit 3. So
yeah. Wow,
I feel
3
like
for
that's
3.
the difference in the game. Yeah, you went 3 for 3.
Sheesh, how the heck?
Knicks went 3 for 36.
Yeah. I will say, though, the Raptors, they're good enough because they have some good shooters. They got Freddie, they got Kyle. But they did put up some Hail Marys tonight that went down for them. And I think that they have the basketball gods to bless for that. Like that Freddie fadeaway and the deep shot from Lowry, like damn near closer to half court than the three-point line type of shots. But they still would have won.
Fade was incredible.
It was, but I even said it, Zach. You remember when I was like, "That's in." Like, yeah, I just knew he was gonna pull it.
Uh-huh.
The dude's good. He's worth $85 million. It's just, can he stay healthy at his size? History doesn't support his size and weight in the NBA, especially with hip injuries like Isaiah Thomas. So that's the only reason I was ever worried about him. But they played a better overall game, and everyone can agree on that. We lost by 17, so clearly they did. But I think the real thing for the Knicks, Zach, and tell me if you agree, but our second half performances this year have been very poor.
Yeah.
And that was
especially
big thing
the fourth quarter, it feels like.
Yeah, and the game against Cleveland, we were up by, I think it was like a good amount of like 12 points. But within the last like 30, 45 seconds of the game, it suddenly became a 5-point game. And we got bailed out because we got a fast break. Like we got lucky. It was a steal
by, I think, Payton, right?
We got lucky,
somebody.
Right?
Yeah.
It was somebody, but if they hadn't got that steal, I think we would have been having a totally different discussion about that Cavs game. I think it would have at least been a 3-point game. If not, we would have lost because the Cavs, they played with more heart in the fourth quarter. We didn't play good. And if we had guys like RJ hit their shots tonight, it's a different story. We just needed one guy to get hot. It would have totally changed the momentum of the entire game. No one could do it. And we have nights like that when we don't have our shooters like Alec Burks and Quickly. But, it's inevitable. You have to prepare for the worst, and we don't have good depth. So, that's simple. I do want to talk a little bit about the, dive a little bit deeper. Looking into the team stats, I know we already talked about a little bit of it. But I'm not sure, Zach, can you see this, or is it a little tough to see? Because I could try and zoom in for you.
It's a little tough to see for me.
Okay. So I'll voice the stats, and then you give me your opinions. Does that sound good? Zach?
Do you hear me? Yeah, yes. I said yeah.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We talked about it, but Knicks 3 for 36 from the 3-point line. Raptors 17 for 52. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So, start with the Knicks. We obviously know it was atrocious. It was terrible. I feel like they weren't even that contested at all, especially the RJ ones. They just missed them. Missed a lot of shots. And with the Raptors, they missed a lot too. I feel like that's always a problem with the Knicks. We leave guys wide open for 3. It's just a common thing. Some of them actually were contested, but a lot of them were wide open, and they didn't hit them as well. So that's why I felt like that's why it was a close game at the beginning. And then once they started hitting, they just took over the game. So I feel like we always talk about 3-pointers on this, but it's the NBA now, and threes change the whole game. And I feel like it always changes our Knicks game every single game.
Yeah,
It's
if they
if
shoot
you hit
bad,
'em,
we win. If they hit them,
exactly.
we lose. And that goes for a lot of teams. But our defense, I don't know what's going on with Tom Thibodeau. They got to talk. They got to watch some film because all those corner shots, and I've been saying it since the first game of the damn year, the corner threes are always wide open. And I don't know what type of defensive scheme we think. I think Tom Thibodeau still thinks it's 1980 because everybody shoots threes now, Tom. You got to kind of rely on more of a 3-2 zone at this point, especially against a Raptors team that doesn't have a ton of size. You know, they lost Marcus on free agency. Aaron Baines was shooting threes out there. So play a 3-2, have Mitch on one block, have Julius on the other block, or Nerlens on one block, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. Our backup, we don't even really have a backup 4 that's official, do we?
Opie when he's healthy.
Yeah, but he wasn't even healthy, so it's like...
Currently, we're running an 8-man roster, so yeah, we don't have a 4.
Yeah, it's just the injuries really hurt tonight because we like to play deep into the team a lot of the times. If we had Quickly and Obi, we'd have a 10-man roster right now, maybe 11 if you're talking about Alex, right? Yeah, Alec Burks.
And Noah Keenan and DSJ.
Holy moly, yeah, we got about a 12-man roster, but I guess Tibbs is playing them hard in practice, I guess, He's known for being that guy that works his players, right? We knew that. I was personally worried he was going to run RJ's knees into the ground, but now I'm more worried that he's going to run Obi's knees into the ground before he can even play 3 NBA games. What's going on? But it's kind of going to be a slow stream. No one's really joined up. Not much to talk about aside from our flaws tonight, which there were plenty. But, the free throw shooting is something to be optimistic about. Us being literally the last team in the league last year in three-point shooting has improved so far. 16 for 20, 80%. Better than the Raptors. And what I will say is I think one of the fouls, I guess you can't discount it, okay? But Julius Randle did go to the line, and he was injured, or at least he had a bad cramp, and he missed one of the free throws. So just assume he doesn't go in and shoot the free throws at all. And just assume he never gets fouled. We shoot 16 for, or what is it, 15 for 18 as a team. Still not bad, But I will say I was a little bit disappointed in the rebounding tonight because at halftime we were up, remember?
Yeah.
And
or it was tied at halftime.
Right. Tied. I think I took the halftime stats down, did I? No, we were up by 5. Oh, first half, yeah.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we were.
And we blew it.
I thought it was 62-62.
On rebounds? 29-24.
Oh, you're talking about... I thought you were talking about the score. My bad.
Oh, no. We were tied. You're right.
Rebounds.
We were tied at halftime, but rebounds now. Because I remember you telling me we were up, and I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, we were tied.
But you know what? Tough game in the second half, especially. They got more shots. More second chance looks, too. That was a big deal. Does it show it there? I mean, points off turnovers. Surprisingly, the Raptors had more turnovers than us tonight, but I think our turnovers were more costly, whereas theirs were more sloppy, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever we would get a turnover, it wouldn't necessarily turn into a point for them every single time, but what would happen usually is we would just, our momentum would die anytime we were trying to get it going, and it would screw us. It just happens like that,
We do a mystery or something.
What'd you say, sorry?
It might have led to like a mystery or something.
Oh, definitely, it could have. No outstanding defensive stats, and quite frankly, the stats don't show up, but the Knicks did just play awful defense tonight. They just weren't it, Yeah, I mean, I guess the 3-point percentage is kind of the most disappointing thing tonight. We go from a team who's averaging like 60% shooting. We lose Alec Burks, we lose quickly, and suddenly we're a 8% shooting team.
We didn't have Burks last game, but we still shot like 59%. So
yeah, but that was against the Cavs. Now we got to deal with the Raptors, so totally different story. I'm not sure if they have it here, but falls back for one jumper. I don't want to play any of these for copyright reasons potentially, right? So, let's just see. I'm not going to go play-by-play here. I'm just trying to find a reason to talk more about the Knicks, but quite frankly, I feel like we're almost out of things to talk about, if you know what I mean. Like, it's really hard to say that anyone on the Knicks had a good game tonight, regardless of what the stats say. If you have anything to add, I mean, I guess we can kind of look into the players themselves and where they shot from certain spots, but I feel like that's overdoing it, especially because we just didn't shoot well.
We did not shoot. There's
so
nothing to look
that's
at.
just the overall takeaway. We just didn't make anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I don't really show misses. I don't know. Yeah, look at all these empty shots. I'll zoom in on this.
Those are all the misses?
Unbelievable. The open bubbles are empty. I'm sorry.
Or misses.
What am I saying? The open bubbles are misses. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
But it was just horrendous tonight. Like, I am tired from watching that game. But we're going to have a lot of games like that this season where we just have to tank through it. We have to give our analysis, and that is what it is.
Very true.
Look at all. Oh, my goodness. I cannot even believe this. What? How many threes? We made 3 3-pointers, right?
3 for 36, yeah.
And we see, I guess, Reggie Bullock pulled up on the line. It's still not a 3-pointer. So, and we had to, you had to chuck that one up from half.
It was just, that was a half-court shot.
We're just a paint team. Well, that's what happens when you call in a 1990s coach. Has that sort
a lot
of
power
effect.
forwards.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that many power forwards this year.
Or we cut a lot of them, but we did last year.
Yeah,
But we drafted Opie.
Bobby Portis got dunked on the other day.
Good.
That was
did?
Totally unrelated, but he got his life taken away on a poster. So can't remember who dunked on him. Don't even know who they played. Oh, Kendrick Nunn.
When was that?
Yesterday. Yeah, you may want to look that up. It's quite entertaining. But lost by 17. Could have been better. Could have been worse, honestly. Could have been like a 30-point blowout, considering the way we played. The Raptors didn't have Siakam, though, which is another big piece. They didn't even have their best player, and we got killed. I mean, we did keep it pretty consistent at about till early third quarter, and then they just kind of took off. It was a close game until about mid third quarter is probably about when they took off. Then they just started killing us.
Both teams were terrible until that point.
Yeah, I know. The Raptors look awful. I mean, if you want to talk about like playoff hopes this year, they're really not that high for the Raptors. There's new teams like the Wizards, and I know they haven't started well, but they have a legit roster. Don't sleep on it still.
Yeah, they got a main three of Westbrook, Beal, and Hachimura.
Right. Thomas Bryant's legit.
They have a future. And Thomas Bryant. They got pieces.
No, they do, but they just got to put them together right. Scott Brooks may be walking out the door soon, honestly. He was a good coach for a while, but his team was bad when he was a coach, so. Hey, let's look at the win probability. Not that the betting odds matter that much. Oh, well, this is silly. I guess the win probability throughout the game, but I guess Toronto had it the entire time, so. Interesting. Okay. Do you have anything to add, Zach, or do you want to do like a short New Year's stream? People are busy. We want to go watch the ball drop, stuff like that.
Yeah, we got nothing. This game was just awful.
Yeah.
Do a quick little. I think we're playing the Pacers next.
Okay, I'll make sure to update that on our Instagram. And if you're watching, check out the Instagram. Knicks4Clicks official on Instagram. I post almost every day. I posted a lot today. And if you enjoy scrolling through Instagram, make sure to check the hashtag Knicks4Clicks. It's pretty much ours at this point. And Knicks4Clicks, the number. That's something I gotta specify. Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Bad game tonight, but hopefully we'll have a bounce back. And RJ, if he doesn't hit a 3 next game, we honestly have to have a discussion about him coming off the bench. I'm serious. I know he brings upside on the defensive end. Maybe he's developed his passing. He's getting better at his free throws. He's an all right mid-range shooter some days not. But if you're going to shoot 8 3-pointers and you're going to miss literally every single one of them, and then you're going to miss 21 3-pointers in the last 3 games but not make one, I mean, you got to have this discussion. I mean, you got guys. You got Frank still, right? Quickly when he comes back. Obi will eventually come back. Alec will eventually come back, and there's going to be competing spots. And I know, I listened to and I watched the media, like the pregame media interviews from Tom Thibodeau and Austin Rivers. But what I got out of Tom Thibodeau is that he really likes RJ's game. He said that RJ has a lot of potential. He sees it in him, and that's a good thing. But tonight, I didn't see much potential. I saw a good stroke. I didn't see it going in. So, gonna have that discussion about potentially bringing him off the bench at some point, regardless of how much I love him. I'm wearing his jersey right now, despite the awful night, so that means something, right?
That's supported.
It is, but it just didn't look too hot for him tonight. He's got a lot of work to do.
No.
Anyway, I hope y'all have enjoyed the stream. If you did, drop a like, drop a sub, put the notifications on. We're live after pretty much almost every game.
Sure.
This is what, Zach? The only reason we wouldn't be live is because we have schoolwork or something. We are high schoolers at the end of the day.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's coming back after.
Right.
We're in break though, so we're doing every stream.
I've enjoyed entertaining our 0 to 3 viewers. But you know what?
It's fun.
It is fun. I like to vent about the Knicks regardless, right? So,
Sure.
I will see you all the next time. Yeah.
Yep. See you Saturday.
Right. Yep. See you Saturday. All right, bye now, Knicks fans.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna